Hello and welcome to another Tour Tuesday where we're back on the road, and this time Felicity is back on the road with me, and we can reveal the reason why she wasn't with me last week, and that is because we have a new member of our touring group. This is Dora. Hello, Dora. Dora is a Romanian rescue puppy. Don't ask us what kind she is because she's got pretty much a bit of everything in there. But this week is her first time coming out on the road with us, so we're going to see how that goes. We're just waiting for the ferry at the moment. We're going to get her on the ferry. She's done the ferry once before when we brought her home. Here we go. This is Dora and Felicity out on the road with us. Don't grumble on the camera. You're going to make yourself look silly. Okay, well, it started well. We've made it onto the ferry. She's not growling at everybody on here. That's a good start. I think she might be a bit worried because the last time we were on the ferry was when we were bringing her home, and she's not quite sure. She's hopeful that we're not going to just take her back again. No.
She wants her bone.
Good, yeah, you got your bone there. Do you want me to hold that for you? No, you just want to sniff it. So welcome to show business, Dora. Welcome to show business, yeah. Yeah, we're doing show business now, yeah. Flicky's getting your bed ready for you. I'm going to put a show together. Normally when we're out on the tour, when it comes to the shows, if Dora is allowed in the venues, she will be in her crate throughout, all the setup and everything. Some venues she's not allowed to come to, which means she'll be staying in a hotel or she'll be staying with Felicity somewhere nearby so Flick can come and help with the setup. But because it's her first time out on the road, Oyen here at the Malpas Victoria Jubilee Hall has given permission for Dora to come in and actually get a little look around so she's not tucked in a cage. She knows what's going on with the setting up of the show, so she can do the show for me next time. After behaving very well in Malpas, including meeting a lot of people after the show, Dora seemed keen to explore when we got to our accommodation in Wales. And so the next morning we got up and we took her for a walk up one of the nearby hills in Wales. We didn't quite make it to the top because she's got little legs and I still have a bad back, of course. But it was a nice little explore in Wales before I had to set off for the evening show. It's now Saturday night and I'm here in Rearsby Village Hall, and it's very different from last night because this hall, no dogs allowed, which means Dora's not with me, which means Felicity's back at the hotel looking after Dora, still in Wales. I've crossed back across the border. I come here to Rearsby in Leicestershire, and I thought, as I'm here on my own and I've not got the dog tonight, we've not got Dora with us, and this episode's mainly, let's be honest, about Dora, but I wanted just to talk a little bit about show business with you, because last night at the show in Malpas, one of my dear performing friends, a gentleman named Mr. Alexander, and if you haven't seen Mr. Alexander's travelling show, look him up online. He came along and he saw the show. We've not seen each other for a few years for various reasons to do with my health, and we saw each other and it was just so beautiful to see each other. And while we were talking, he watched the whole show and really enjoyed the whole show, and he sent me just the loveliest email actually this morning about the show. But after the show, he came up to me and asked if I'd mind if he gave me a couple of notes on the show. And there were only 2 notes, and they were quite short little notes. And he said it's only small things. But here's the thing: he is a performer. I won't mention how many more years he's been doing this than I have, because make us both feel quite old. But he just gave me these 2 simple little notes, and they were quite simple notes, but they had to come from someone really of his experience and somebody that knows me and knows my show as well as they know show business. And these 2 notes just struck home, and I think it's going to change a couple of elements in the show tonight in a big way, and hopefully is going to make the show even stronger than it has been so far. And that got me to thinking about the first time that he really gave me advice, because this was back, I think it must have been in 2010, we're going back about 15 years.
when we first worked together at the Isle of Wight Steam Railway at the steam show. And we didn't work together actually that time. I was hired to do some stuff in the arena. He had his own stage, and I didn't know at the time that over the years I would come to share that stage with him on occasion. And indeed, we actually came up with a few times. We did our fire finale, our big fire, involved fire juggling, all sorts of things just between the two of us. But that first year I met him and I went and I watched his show, and still, if you get a chance to see him, he's on the road this year. If you do get a chance to see Mr. Alexander's travelling show, go, because I sit there, every time I see him, I sit there just amazed by the magic. It just takes me to somewhere so magical. And I remember that first year, and I went down and watched his show for the first time, and it was just so good. And I was starting out. I'd spent all the time in Italy, and I was just coming back and starting to do my own style of performance in England, and it was good, and I knew how the crowds worked, but I was still rough and ready and starting out. You know, this is 15 years ago. I've changed a lot in the last 15 years. I hope I've learned a lot in the last 15 years. But I think a lot of people, when you're starting out, they want to give you advice. They want to tell you what you should do. And it's great. Some of it's helpful and some of it's very unhelpful. It's very hard to know which is which. But the reason that Mr. Alexander became immediately so important to me, and I think what is a mark of him, and it's what I try and do going forward if people ask me for advice or I feel I want to offer advice, is he didn't come up, watch my act, and then come and give me advice. We'd spoken a little bit earlier in the day. What he actually did was come over and watch my act, and then afterwards, a little bit later, he came up to me and he said, "Hi Greg, would you do me a favour? Would you mind coming along and watching my show this afternoon? And perhaps we can have a beer this afternoon, and we can sit down and we can give each other little pointers and give each other little notes on each other's shows." And it was just that beautiful moment of not being told, this is what I think with my years and years of experience, you're just starting out, but to say, welcome to this world of show business. Welcome, we are equals. I've been doing this a lot longer than you, you're just starting out, but we are both showmen. And we are both showmen, and what that means is that we get to work together. And I'm not just going to tell you stuff. If I'm going to give you advice about your show, I'm hoping we can sit down and have a conversation and you can give me tips about your show. And over the years we've passed notes back and forwards. When we've worked new tricks in, very often if we've worked new tricks in, we've seen each other working in new tricks, and we've given each other ideas and tweaks and little ways we can make it even better. We've passed tricks backwards and forwards on occasion. And so just to see him last night and just to have him come up and just give me those two little notes, which I know are going to just make this show even stronger, and I've got them up there tonight. I've got markings that I've made up on my running orders to try and remember these bits and pieces, and I'm going to see how it plays. And it's going to take a little while for this to bed in, but just to have that, and just to remember the first person in the wider world of show business, not a theatre director that I'd worked with, but somebody in the wider world of show business who invited me in and treated me as an equal. And I say he's on the road. He's also, if you are into magic at all yourself, or any sort of circusy arts and things, then do check out Mr. Alexander's website. I'll put a link to it somewhere. He's just opened up an emporium where he's actually selling some of the incredible things that he has collected over his years of performing. And so I definitely recommend that you get on there and see if there's anything that takes your fancy. I know I've certainly already spoken to him about some bits on there, and it's what I try to do if somebody comes over to me, and especially youngsters come over to me and they want to talk to me about magic. I always try very hard, no matter what level they're at, whether they've learned one trick from a magic kit, or whether they're starting out trying to get into performing, or whether they're a performer, I try and just remind myself that we are all performers together. And I always just try and invite them in as fellow performers and fellow show people. The next night in Llangollen Village Hall, Dora was back with me again, as was Felicity, and she wanted to explore. She checked the perimeter of the hall before we began, and then she came in with us and became a lighting technician, as she helped me to have a look and understand all of the lighting system on the stage in that particular village hall. all so that she was ready to settle throughout the show. This is the point of the show where I normally do one of the questions that we've had in. Well, I'm not going to do a question this week because we had something. Yes, Dora, we're not doing a question this week. I know you're not happy about it, but this week I've actually got a gift. This was sent to me. This is a pack of dinosaur playing cards that was sent to me by Steiff Art very, very kindly, because they got in touch. They asked me to have a little look at them because I know a bit about cards, being a magician, and offer them some suggestions. I only offered a couple of minor suggestions, and Sandra sent through to me this absolutely beautiful deck of dinosaur themed cards. We've got the Joker there, the beautiful Jokers. We've got all the royal cards, all the picture cards. I think the aces are absolutely beautiful. If you go over and check out Steiff Art, because these cards, and actually the finish of the cards is quite nice as well, so they shuffle nicely. Thank you, Dora. Thank you, Dora. I know, we're about to start a show. They shuffle nicely, well, and even down to the beautiful illustration of the ammonite on the back of the deck. They are just such a wonderful, beautiful deck of cards. So if you don't already, go on over and check out Steiff Art on Instagram, and you'll be able to see all of her wonderful artwork and find out where you can get yourselves a deck of these incredible cards. I particularly like the T-Rex Jack of Hearts.
So this is Dora's VIP room. She's got a crate all set up there. She's currently enjoying her dinner because she's a good girl. And we got this room to play in or sleep in. Well, through that door there, Greggy is on stage.
I'm Greg Chapman, and this has been the Legend of Houdini. Thank you very much. We're really pleased with how Dora's done on her first weekend of touring with us, so expect more updates on Dora and indeed on the tour itself next Tuesday. But for now, goodbye and take care.